Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online video with me, Sherman. Today I'm actually being joined by Venosi and we're going to be discussing the live stream from Saturday live stream at Bethesda Game Days, and we're going to kind of just talk about a little bit what the devs talked about and just kind of give our thoughts on it. So, hello Venosi.
Hello, hello.
So, you and me both, we tried to watch the live stream when it happened, but we're both a little late to the game.
Yes.
And I did get to go back and watch some of it and stuff like that. So, on the things they discussed, like the Psijic order stuff, the Cloudrest, and jewelry crafting, it seemed like the main focus in this. What's your thoughts on the Psijic order stuff that they talked about?
That looked really kind of cool. I actually getting to see the spells kind of in action. They showed off, looked like time stop, which that looked kind of cool.
Well, they did the undo when he fell off the cliff and he brought it back up.
Yeah, I think there was an imbue. I think they showed off imbue weapon there.
And they what was the other one? The acceleration was the other one they showed.
I didn't get to see the acceleration. Near that, I missed it whenever they did it.
Right. Well, that's when I came in on it. Was right when they were showing the acceleration, like when they were showing the Psijic skills. I didn't see the tower. I had to go back and rewatch that part where they showed the inside of the Psijic tower, and I thought that looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. It's totally different architecture than what I've seen. You know, it looked very clean, very neat. I mean, those guys did an amazing job. You know, from what they showed, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's definitely a new art style that a lot of us, you know, and like they were saying, it's like that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to bring something new, like a new look, because it's a different place. It's, you know, it's a place we haven't seen since 1994 in Arena, and now we've got this cool looking new area and it did look high fantasy. It really did.
Oh yeah, it looked amazingly high fantasy. I liked how they set up, you know, like the town part. I don't know if you got to see that.
Yeah, I got to see from then on. Yeah.
Yeah, where, you know, it stacks all the way up, and they're like running up and up and up. I'm just hoping, you know, as far as, you know, Mr. Efficiency that I like to kind of be sometimes, that nothing's all spread out, you know, kind of deal.
Well, they did show the crafting area, which was the jewelry crafting and stuff like that, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
I like how they said that the Ritz guy was really close by, like not super close, but like kind of like I'm gonna guess is gonna be like any of the cities, like it's gonna be close to the crafting hall, but not like right inside it. So
it looked like almost right inside it from what they were showing, because they had a couple of bulletin boards inside the crafting area there. So
well, they said that there was the crafting area, and they said it was down the hill by this red tree or something, or near this red tree outside of the place. And I was like, oh, okay, now I know where they're talking. And I saw that when they were coming in, and I was like, that makes sense to have it, like, you know how like in Deshaun it's out the gate of the crafting hall. In Eldenroot it's down the bridge. I don't know where it is, how it is in the Daggerfall area, or not Daggerfall, Wayrest area, because I don't go there very often except to buy stuff.
Right, I know, like Daggerfall itself, to turn in your writs is like way across town. So, you know, you pick them up on one side and do them in the middle and take off to their side.
So moving on to the what did I say they talked? Oh, Cloudrest, the Cloudrest stuff.
Cloudrest. Yeah.
With the way the dynamics are to that, where they're going to have, you know, like the easy mode is you go through and fight the bosses individually until you get to the slowed at the end. And I think it's cool they're going to have a slowed in this. This is awesome. I've been waiting to see a slowed in again.
Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting for anybody that goes and does it, whether they just do it on normal or try for the hard mode for the top end stuff. I mean, half your group's going to have to go inside this shadow world, they said, while the other half does other stuff that affects the shadow world. And I mean,
it's going to be cool.
Yeah, they put a lot of thought and a lot of effort behind this. So I think as players, we need to really show them our respect and crush it the first day.
Oh, you think they should crash it the first day? I would like to see that happen, but I think what we're gonna see here soon is I think we're gonna see first there's gonna be the shift, and people are gonna have to make adjustments because I don't think we're gonna see a lot of. And I'm again, we're not, not saying anything negative, but I don't think we're gonna see a big meta right away, rushing it and trying to complete it. I think we're gonna see a lot of people attempting and like doing it on normal. I think we're seeing a lot of completions on normal, maybe like an easy vet mode, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of hard mode completions until the meta shift happens with the jewelry crafting and all that kind of stuff. And then, I know we could go on about the Cloudrest Trial difficulty and everything, like where they were saying like oh, you're going to need 2 tanks. You're going to need really good at group organization. I'm glad they said that, but I don't want to spend too much on it.
Right. Yes. Me too. I don't want to spend too much time on it because 2 tanks. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think the shift for trials get people as in order to complete that's going to be totally different. I think we will still see people trying to complete it hard mode with the current setup they have.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stubborn people out there. Let's just put it that way.
Well, they'll do it. I mean, that's what they'll start with. They'll start with that, and then as they figure things out, they'll adjust the meta to fit. That's how the meta is going to shift. They're going to go in with meta builds, and then they're going to adjust the structure of it to fit that dynamic. And I think that's where the shift is going to come in. Is they're going to go in and test it with meta stuff and adjust to fit that.
The way I was seeing it, it's and they were explaining it. First thing that came to my mind on any of that is your DPS may have to be a little bit more robust than what they are now.
Definitely.
And they said there are mechanics in there that's new. A lot of the Griffins do different mechanics, and once you defeat one, it's going to be persistent throughout the rest of the dungeon. They did say there was an alternate ending for each of the
difficulties
modes. I think.
Yeah,
I think so. What they truly said was, veteran.
Right.
Hard mode is going to be the true ending.
Right.
But
and I'll tell you this: if it ever gets to the point where as a guild or as a group, we can get some people and go do it and stuff. I think that'll be really cool, And I'm not doing it, saying like, oh wow, like look at me, I'm the greatest, like, but just to say, hey, we did it, we finished it. I think that would be just, I think because a lot of times, that's enough for people in their accomplishments in the game, like to say, hey, you know what, I did this.
Right.
I honestly will tell you the truth. I'm not a big trial person because I just don't like... It's not that I don't like the difficulty. I just don't like trying to organize and set up and get times down and all that kind of stuff when I can just grab a group and go do a dungeon, It's a lot easier.
Yeah. The way I've always looked at it, because I'm not a trial person either, sometimes it takes you 10, 15 minutes to get 4 people together to go do a dungeon. Now multiply that by 12 people going into a trial and everybody's doing something else and they're like, yeah, I'll be there in just a minute. And then, an hour later they finally show up to go do this trial.
Right. Now,
that's been my irritation. But as a segue into this, jewelry crafting, because guess what? Yeah,
it's connected. It's connected
yes.
to the trials now. When I heard that the way they were going to do jewelry crafting, I didn't think it was going to be like this. Like, you're still going to get resources from nodes, but you're not going to get the trait stuff unless you do certain content. And I was like, what? Like, that is cool, because now you have a relation between the traits and the content.
Yes. Start with trials, they said harmony is what you get off of the weekly. So if you complete the weekly, you get harmony. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then they were talking about, like, upgrading. this is one thing I really want to talk about, is the upgrading of jewelry from like blue to purple and all that kind of stuff to gold. They said that it's not going to be easy, and that's one of the reasons why they put in the system they did, where you can't decon the jewelry we have now, because it would give too many people an advantage over everyone else.
Yes.
And that was epic.
Yes, it was epic. Now, they did say after Summerset drops, then, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I would say if there's some jewelry that you really, really like, and I'd go collect it now, kind of hold on to it, because you're going to be able to upgrade it and change it and all that good stuff.
You just won't be able to deconstruct it.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the cool thing. Now, you can research the current traits. You'll be able to research them first right out of the box.
Right.
So, and then, as far as traits go, they talked about Swift, that's on for your crafter people, like kind of me.
Right.
That you can go in and do, your crafting writs, and boom, that you get it out of that.
Right. And then didn't they say something out of, you get something out of like the daily dungeons, and then PvP?
They didn't say anything about the daily dungeons.
I know there was PvP.
But I'm assuming that's going to be PvP, yes, yeah. Bloodthirsty.
Yeah, Bloodthirsty,
yeah. Yeah, PvP dailies. So...
Yeah, because it would make sense to add, like, a jewelry trait to, like, not the, like the random vet kind of thing. Like, I could see them doing a jewelry trait attached to, like, the willpower, agility, the endurance, like, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, I really can't wait for patch notes. This has got me super stoked on that.
Oh yeah, me too. And then, besides just getting those traits from, like the PvP dailies, the joy crafting writs for your joy crafting dailies, and your harmony from your trials weekly. There's also a vendor associated kind of with that. So like PvP is like your AP vendors, where you can get the trait materials off of.
Right.
Same thing with the voucher vendor, and I didn't catch where you could get it from for harmony on that. So I don't know exactly where you're gonna pick that up at further.
Well, they did say that a lot of the traits were attached to quest lines.
Yeah,
like the like daily quest lines and stuff
like that.
So that's the kind of thing that I'm glad that they did, because it does add something new to jewelry crafting that's different from the other crafts, and it kind of separates the two.
Right. I mean, if you're one of those people who does all the above, goes and does daily dungeons, goes and does a weekly trial, goes and does crafting for your jewelry crafting writs, goes and does, PvP dailies, you're going to be a well-rounded jewelry crafter.
Right.
But for the rest of us that don't do trials, like myself, I'm going to have to go buy the trait off the vendor,
or from another player, have them craft it so you can decon it and create or research it so you can do it yourself. And that's also really cool that they're going to do that.
Yeah, or bug one of your buddies to get you one, and be really nice to them until they give it to you. One or the other. You know how that goes. Mr. Evil here.
All right. So one other thing I wanted to kind of bring up is one of the things that Rich and them said about chapters. And it kind of, like, I get where people are upset about the whole thing with chapters and DLCs, the difference, but I like how they did this. They said chapters are basically like a new update to the game, because the content that we've already completed is already completed. A lot of us have already completed, but it's a nice transition for new players coming into the game. They have this content they can jump right into. Excuse my Khajiit in the background, by the way. But you can transition into the Summerset really easily with your existing players, and of course new players will be able to go right into it, and they gain access to it like it's new, like it's the new opening. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think it was kind of cool where they were coming from all that. But on the flip side of it, it's, from a veteran player personality, I guess, it's kind of one of those deals of, tomato, tomato. They just created a new terminology so they can,
right.
do that, that shady stuff. And it sounds like to me, if it was up to those two guys, they would have kept everything chapters in the way it was. And I have a feeling that there probably is some internal things, like Peter doesn't talk to Paul kind of thing when stuff gets done.
Right. And I think
But that's a company in of itself. But they, I think the way they explained all that was very nice. I mean,
But, I mean, other than that, I mean, they didn't really talk a whole lot more about what was coming,
right.
They didn't go into detail of, like when people were, like, questioning about PTS. Like, when's PTS coming? And they were like, soonish? Gina's all like, oh, I'm getting the patch notes now from Mike, Mike Flanagan, and I'm going over those, and I'm getting this stuff, and I'm getting this, but yeah, it's probably not going to be until the middle of the month. I mean, no offense to the devs, that was like the worst giveaway.
Right.
BTS.
Well, they actually said we're going to have a thing next week.
And it's like,
it's just like, okay, why don't you just come on and say what you were going to do instead of beat around the bush kind of deal.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of weird how they did that, and like try to. It's like they, not to sound rude, but it's like they think we're pretty stupid or something.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like they try to treat us like we don't know what they're talking about. In the middle of the month,
right.
This, like that's not this next week, that's the following week.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. They really need to adjust their poker faces, because they didn't have very good poker faces to me. It's like they knew exactly when everything was going to hit.
And I mean the fact that Mike Flanagan blah, blah, kept saying like, oh, we have it coming out the 21st on PC, and we're gonna have it out this and this, and he's basically saying, yeah, it's coming out in expect it this not this coming week but the following week on PTS. And I was like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, he seemed to be the one who wanted to just tell everybody everything and go with it, where the others were just kind of like, we need to kind of keep tight-lipped, and we're gonna wink at you as we say this stuff.
Yeah. And I was waiting for that. I was waiting for a big winky face to pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
Like here's a hint, guys. You guys weren't doing a very good job of hinting. You are just basically telling. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I thought like the artwork, the environment that they showed in the video, the video was just crazy good. Like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to.
Yeah, spectacular. I mean, we haven't touched on this, but they did talk about how they're going to kind of redo how the CPU stuff works.
Yes. Yeah. They did talk about that. They talked about the multi-core.
Yeah. Basically, the way it was said is like, if you have more than 5 cores at the moment, then you're going to see a significant, difference kind of thing. Yeah.
Because I have a quad core myself, and I know you just you're. I'm not even going to talk about it. You just got the yeah. I'm just going to shut up. I mean, my wife now. My wife does have an 8-core system, and it's like 4.2 gigahertz, and it's pretty powerful. But it's crazy, like, because I know now that her system is going to run the game better than me. I'm like half tempted to just gut her stuff and throw my stuff in her.
Right. Yeah, because they talked about that. They talked about how they redid some of the skills and stuff that happened on the server side, on the back end. Console players.
How they're going to make it more GPU on the console so that it actually runs smoother. Like, they've actually sat down and tried to figure out how can we make this game run better on consoles. And that's cool.
Yeah, because he was talking about you know, how well it's going to do. No more they're going to reduce that herky jerky feeling. The graphics are going to be more intense.
In Cyrodiil too.
Yeah, because you know we all keep telling them, hey, you know, Cyrodiil lag, Cyrodiil lag.
Cyrodiil,
they're actually they're actually listening to us, guys. So yeah,
that's going to be pretty cool. I mean, other than that, I mean, how I'll put it this way, and I know this is a bad way to do it, but on a scale of 1 to 10, from what we know so far and everything, how are you rating? How would you rate Summerset so far?
Me, 1 to 10. 10 being the best.
Yeah.
I'd probably nail it right there, probably an 8.5, 9 area, because we still don't know everything that's coming. And what we have is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I would have to say a little bit. I have to go a little bit lower, mainly because of that. Maybe because we don't know everything yet. But for now, I'm going to say a 7.5. Because the reason I say a 7.5 is, one, I like that we're getting new content. I don't know how big that content is. They really didn't go into scale. They just kind of showed us some stuff. And I'm hoping it's a lot larger feeling when you're playing it. I love the aesthetics and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to certain things, I gotta wait until PTS, and then I can give my, you know, like full on thing. But right now, I mean, just from what they said, 7.5 is definitely where I'm rocking, because man,
I mean, they
good.
keep mentioning those things like dark anchors, but we haven't seen anything.
Oh, the abysmal geysers.
Yes. They keep hinting on there's something, you know,
that we haven't seen yet, and it's like, what haven't we seen? Like, what are you hiding from us? Like, just reveal it, dang it. And I know, like, they're gonna show us. You know, we'll find out when PTS hits. You know, like. So here's another question I have: what do you think PTS is going to be? Do you think it's going to be under NDA? Because I honestly have to say something about this. I do not think they're going to do an NDA on this. I think they're gonna, when it goes on PTS, it's gonna be full bore. Like, hey, here, go do it. You know, give us your thoughts, because that way they're gonna get a lot more feedback, not just in the space of the PTS forums, but they're gonna have a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of streamers, you know, giving back feedback. They're gonna see this stuff live with the feedback from the community as well. So, I don't know.
I think it'll probably either be a partial NDA on this whole thing, and the reason is like back in Morrowind, you know, they sent out invites and only so many people could get on the PTS at a time, kind of thing.
Hey, I hate to tell people this, but it didn't happen that way.
Right.
I never got an invite, and I was on PTS day 1, and I pre-purchased, so I was like, okay. Like, okay.
Yeah. So there's no telling how they're gonna kind of work that system, kind of thing. I have a feeling they probably will do a partial NDA, and that way, you know,
can't discuss any of the Somerset quest lines, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Everything else.
Yeah, you know, no mechanics on the trial, kind of deal.
Kind of like what they did with the people who went out and visited. They could talk about base game changes. They could talk about specific things, but they weren't allowed to talk about Somerset itself, like the content, the quests, the trial itself. I mean, the devs did a pretty good job, I will say, in explaining some of the details of the trial. I like how they kept some things secret too.
Right, and I don't think that NDA will last very long. I feel if there is one imposed at all, that it won't last, but maybe, you know,
like a week
or two or something. You know, then it'll be lifted. Because the fact of, depending upon how many, I think, people actually prepay for this whole deal.
Yeah, well, we all know a lot of it's just a hype train they're building.
Right.
But if it's anything, like I really did like the Morrowind content. I've played through the main quest over there and a couple of side quests and stuff, you know, like several times. But for some people, like most people will just play through it once, if you know,
Yeah.
Except for the fact that the Psijic Order is attached to the main quest line, so you know, and in order to unlock the Psijic Order, you have to do the quest for the Psijic Order. So.
Yeah, I think that'll be like that for a while. Like, you know, after the first year, they'll probably, you know, make it to where it's a little bit easier to get a hold of.
Yeah.
By that time, a lot of people have already purchased it, that kind of deal, you know.
But back to the Psijic Order thing, that was, we kind of like left that out, like that part. The fact that you're going to unlock the Psijic Order through the quests of the Psijic Order. There's no like daily quests. There's no going and doing abysmal geysers. They said all the skill line is from the quest. I think is what Matt said.
Yeah,
Rich said.
Yeah, I think the way that he talked to is you gain Psijic Order experience, I guess,
from doing
your skill line.
Yeah,
from doing that quest line.
Mm-hmm.
So probably going to be along the lines of, you know, the Harborage quest line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as long as you're doing that, you know, you're going to gain
XP.
Yep.
Man, and I just have to, you know, I can't say it enough. I'm like, when people say, "Oh, I'm hyped," no, there's no, it's not hype. You're either super excited or you're not.
Oh, I'm definitely super excited for this because, you know, there's several things like builds.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you know, the Psijic Order stuff because I want to see what that, you know, how's that going to work with my tanks? How's that going to work with my healers? How's that going to work with my DPS, my PvP, my...
How's it going to work?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just seeing the skill and a couple of skills in action on TV doesn't really, you know...
It kind of gives you a hint, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like they're wiggling that bait in front of us, and they're just waiting for us to bite, and they got it.
Right, and about the only thing they talked about as far as cost-wise for these skills was the ultimate. They said the ultimate was about 200 ultimate is what the cost of it was. Yeah. So that can be anywhere from 150 to 250. So there you go. There's your how much that's going to cost.
Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately, that is going to conclude this because I am strapped for time. I'm pretty sure Ben is as well.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I just have one thing to say, and it's a shout out to a friend of mine who is at PAX East, and I know you have some people there. Winky Face Fiosco. I know you're there. You know, have fun.
Yeah, exactly. To all my friends who are at PAX East, enjoy yourselves. I already know they are. One actually got to sit with Gina earlier today and talk to her. And I was like, dude, you're a dweeb. I hate you.
Yeah. No, I hate him too. You got to sit down with Gina.
Well, he was sitting there talking to like the people, and
right.
Gina was sitting down, and he went over and sat with her and talked to her a minute. He didn't get any information. He was just like, it's, you know, I wanted to say it's really nice to meet you, and thank you for the live streams that you guys have done. You know, hosting those live streams on ESO, and he's like, it's really cool to have, you know, good community managers who are willing to do that kind of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, she puts a lot of effort into that.
At least that's what he told me. I wasn't there, so I can't say for sure. That's right. What he said, but he said he got to sit with Gina and talk to her and that kind of stuff. And he sent me a message on Discord with that. He's like, yeah. Then he sent me photos too of the panel, like them at the panel and things. I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. I'm glad you got to see that. So I don't know. But he was taking me. He sent me a bunch of pictures. He sent me pictures of like their like the different booths that the game companies had set up and stuff. And he's really excited about the Overwatch. I don't know why. Whatever.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Thank you for having me along. I was enjoying it. I know you got time to. You need to go get some.
If you guys didn't hear all the commotion in the background, that was my counterpart and child coming in and like, hey, we're home. This is time to get dinner going.
Yep. So. Well, you have a good evening, buddy, and everybody else have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all. So I have a new outgoing thing when I have guests on my show now. Thanks to Ben, he was the one who kind of pointed out this. But if you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, hit the subscribe button. Other than that, go check out Ben's channel here soon. He will be a YouTuber. So go check out his stuff. I will put links to his stuff when he gets the channel open in the description below later. Not now, later. And then other than that, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day. And we might see you in game. Bye.